going on.
Thank you so much.
Feel like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ, you up?
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. I'm Mike Babcock with my guy, as always, Mojo Muhtadi. Mojo, we're going to start with the Western Conference Finals. On Monday, the Timberwolves had a chance to knot this series up at 2 games apiece, but behind an explosive scoring performance from the league MVP, Shea drops 40 points, and the Thunder defeat the Timberwolves 128-126. They now take a commanding 3-1 lead in the Western Conference Finals. Mojo, again, just 1 win away from advancing to the NBA Finals. So that happened, Mojo. It was a close game. The T-Wolves, they came back, but again, just fell a little short. Now, a guy who is not playing in the Western Conference Finals, but definitely wishes he was, is Steph Curry, Mojo. Remember, of course, the Golden State Warriors, they lost to the Timberwolves. Now, as you all know, as you watch the series, Steph was hurt in Game 1. So despite winning that first game, Steph was hurt. They lose their best player, and the Warriors were not going to win that series without Steph Curry. I don't care, if they've got Jimmy Butler or not, Draymond Green or not, Mojo. So they lost. They are done. Now, you try and find silver linings in things, Mojo, and here is the silver lining. If Steph's team had advanced to play in the next playoff round, he would not have been able to go see Benson Boone perform at the BottleRock Festival in Napa Valley over the weekend. This is a big-time festival. There were a ton of VIP guests there, Mojo. There were celebrities, there were actors, there were other musicians, there were athletes, a bunch of 49ers players, and there was the greatest shooter of all time. Watch, Mojo. Watch his seats here. He's right there, first row. And just like anybody else might be, great athlete or not, you get that close, you're going to get some video, you're super excited, you sing along. Watch this. Mojo, Benson Boone, I think, well, for me at least, was the breakout star of this year. And even people like Steph Curry, starstruck.
You said Steph Curry was wishing he was still playing in the playoffs. I don't think so, Babcock. No. I think he is exactly where he wants to be. I mean, did you see his eyes during this? That is love. I'm not convinced that Steph Curry doesn't have that guy's posters plastered all over his bedroom, has all of the fan trinkets, socks with that man's face on it. I mean, that was love in that twinkle in his eyes right there. So I'm not surprised that he would be there. I really don't think he's missing the playoffs too much right now, because let's remember, too, the Warriors lost 4-1 to the Timberwolves, who are about to lose 4-1 likely to the Thunder, which translates to if the Warriors were in the playoffs now, they'd be getting stomped to all hell, would have been eliminated by now. Anyway, so nobody really wants that on their legacy, I'll say, especially when you're Steph and you've won it all. You're one of the best players in the league. I mean, it's tough to go out like that in the playoffs. But, yeah, this is a pretty good consolation prize, It's tough as a star player to sit home and have to watch this. So sometimes you have to fill your days with some fun and some entertainment. And clearly he is very entertained here.
All right, Mojo, moving on to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. We've talked about Travis Kelce. He's been working out hard in the gym, Mojo. We showed you those photographs last week of the hairy back. He was all sweaty. Bottom line is, Travis getting ready, and he has been working out hard for this NFL season. But that does not mean, Mojo, even future first ballot Hall of Famers who are getting ready for an NFL season, that doesn't mean that they can't have at least one cheat day and go out with their girlfriend and enjoy a nice meal and a couple of tasty drinks, Mojo. And that is exactly what Trav and Taylor did over the weekend. So Mojo, of course, big Memorial Day weekend, holiday weekend, they want to go and they want to go have some fun, and that's exactly what they did. So Travis and Taylor hit up a restaurant, Mojo, in Palm Beach, of course, very fancy place in Florida. Hit a restaurant called Harry's, and this menu that they got is absolutely ridiculous. I guess first things first, let's start most importantly with the drinks, Mojo. Here we go. So this was Milana. I hope I'm not saying that wrong, Mojo. Wheatley Craft Vodka, passion fruit, and organic vanilla. Of course, organic. What else? Travis, meanwhile, had a drink called a Purple Rain. We like that. Hendrix, Oasium Gin. Don't know what that is, Mojo. Green tea, creme de violet, and citrus, Mojo. You are a bit of a mixologist, Mojo. So what do we make of these drinks? They sound good.
I love this, Babcock. I'm a big fan of this drink order. I don't know if you know this about me, but if I'm going out for a beverage, if I'm going out for some food, we got to make sure it is at an upscale level, because I don't do that stuff very often. So if I do it, I'm doing it big, and we're going all the way with it. I love that they got away from the classic cocktail menu. I mean, I think some people could look at Travis and be like, oh, he's an old-fashioned kind of guy. Maybe a Manhattan, perhaps a whiskey sour. And you look at T Swift and you're like, okay, maybe she prefers a dirty martini. Fun fact about a dirty martini, Babcock, it is made to be drank within 3 minutes, and the mark of a true dirty martini is it's supposed to taste like water originally. I don't think a lot of people know that, but if you enter a mixology contest, that's part of the criteria. So a little knowledge for everybody watching at home, but I love this drink order. T Swift throwing in the passion fruit, which might be my favorite flavor, maybe because we're just passionate people, Babcock. And Trav mixing it up, man. I like this, but it also just shows you they're at a good spot that's capable of making cocktails of this caliber, but that's zero surprise considering who we're talking about here.
Right, yeah, no shock there, Mojo, that they would go to the absolute best of places. So we've got the drinks covered. Now let's talk about some of this food. And the menu, the food menu, equally is impressive, Mojo. So we have been told that they shared a lot of these items. So they had an endive salad, Mojo. They had some cacio pepe, lobster risotto, Mojo. They had a dry-aged burger. They had some Dover sole, some Wagyu filet mignon, some garlic broccolini, and some potato puree, Mojo. It sounds like a good menu. I am a very picky eater, but I could get down with some of those things there, Mojo.
See, that's another thing, Babcock. You might not know this about me either, but your boy is also a Michelin man, so I have an affinity for quality foods as well. I like to see the broccolini on the menu. That's the new Brussels sprouts today. Everybody got into a big Brussels sprouts craze, even though when we were kids, that was like the most hated vegetable of all time, and then they figured out a way to perfect it. But broccolini, keeping it light, keeping it a little healthier. Trav is getting ready in the offseason. Workouts are ramping up, so you got to be a little smarter with your food decisions. I only noticed one pasta dish. Other than that, you got a Wagyu and you got a dry-aged burger. These are quality decisions for a guy that's got to replenish and bulk up in the offseason. So I like this. I will say I will allow T Swift and Kelce to take Grace and I out to a restaurant and out for drinks, because obviously they know what they're doing and we can speak the same language here.
Double date. Former NBA star Shawn Kemp in court today pleading guilty to that 2023 gun incident in Washington. The very latest on the Rain Man's legal case when TMZ Sports returns right after this. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike, Mojo, and Edward. Guys, we've got a big update on a story that we first started covering back in March of 2023 involving an NBA superstar, retired NBA superstar, Shawn Kemp. Now, you remember, this was in the Washington area when Shawn Kemp was involved in a parking lot altercation with another group of guys that involved a gun which was fired The entire incident was captured on video. Now, Kemp was ultimately arrested. Edward's going to have a big update on that case. But first, if you don't remember what happened, and recall, this was all captured on video. Here was the incident, March 2023.
Got the gun in his right hand. He's yelling at that guy in the 400. Oh my God.
Hey, red vest.
Red vest, gun in right hand.
So there it was, and you see these guys who obviously flipped their cameras on when they saw the commotion and the altercation, and they are pointing out, guy in the red vest. Well, the guy in the red vest is a 6-time NBA All-Star who was an absolute terror in his day. Now, Edward, as you know, he was ultimately arrested. He was charged. The case has been dragging on, but finally, we've got a resolution.
Yeah, so Shawn, you'll recall, initially pleaded not guilty. He was charged with first-degree assault, and he pleaded not guilty. If you guys remember, he claimed that these people basically stole his car, and this was kind of like his way of going back and getting his own street justice. So he pleaded not guilty, and like you said, Babcock, this thing lasted for 2 years. He vowed to fight it in court. Well, on Tuesday morning, he came to court and struck a plea deal with prosecutors. He agreed to plead guilty to second-degree assault, so obviously less serious than the first-degree one he had been facing. We do not know what he's going to potentially being sentenced to. That sentencing hearing has been slated for August, but according to prosecutors who talked to me this morning, they are going to submit, each side is going to submit what they believe is a fair resolution for his sentencing. So obviously, Shawn's side is probably going to say, hey, look, we don't think he deserves time behind bars, and it's entirely possible prosecutors say, no, he deserves time behind bars. So we don't know what he's actually going to be sentenced to, which is kind of rare in these plea deal situations, but we'll all find out in August, and for those in Shawn's favor are obviously hoping he stays out of prison.
As we know, I think it's incredibly rare to see a plea agreement agreed to when somebody doesn't know that, hey, I'm going to get this amount of prison time. I mean, this is even second-degree assault. It carries a significant amount of time behind bars, so he could potentially be going away for a while here, Mojo, and he does not know. I mean, I am sure his side is going to recommend that he doesn't do any time, like Ed said, but no saying that the judge is going to accept that.
Yeah, what a weird situation that they're leaving it up to him to work out like this. I mean, this case was nuts. I remembered this like it just happened last week, because when it happened, we were so confused as to why this was going down. We were, everyone was kind of wondering, like, is this guy on something? CTE? Like, you're looking for some sort of explanation as to why a guy like that would go acting like this in a public setting. But I mean, something's going to happen here, right? You just can't go firing a gun in a parking lot in a public situation. You don't know if there's kids walking around. I mean, somebody could have been killed, and for what? I don't care if your car was stolen. I mean, that is not serious enough of an offense to go firing off a gun like this. So I got to think something's going to happen. I don't know. Maybe because he's a superstar athlete. He's a big name. Maybe that's why this situation has been going down rather unconventionally. But, man, over 2 years, I mean, it's been some serious time since this went on. And I guess we'll see what they work out. But, yeah, you got to think his side's going to come back and be like, oh, no time at all.
He's a 6-time Pro Bowler, and she's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Could Myles Garrett and Chloe Kim be a new sports power couple? We'll explore when TMZ Sports rolls on right after this. Welcome back to TMZ Sports, Mike and Mojo. Mojo, what a time for Travis Hunter, the number 2 pick in this year's NFL draft. He's got, the fat new contract, and now he's got himself a new wife, Mojo, because Travis and his girlfriend, Liana Linnea, they tied the knot on Saturday. Again, you saw, and not a bad wedding gift, by the way, right there, as Travis gives something like a $200,000 vehicle to his new wife. They had the fireworks, Mojo. They had the family, the friends, the teammates. Everybody was there celebrating this incredibly joyous day. And again, what a time for Travis Hunter, who is on top of the world right now. And we really send our congratulations to them. Very, very cool, Mojo. Now, Mojo, from a couple that just was at the altar and tied the knot to maybe one that someday ties the knot. They are still in the early stages, but still, this is a potentially really cute relationship. Future Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer, Myles Garrett, and Chloe Kim, the star snowboarder who is a two-time Olympic gold medalist, Mojo. They appear to be an item. So we seen some images, Mojo, of them at the Crunchyroll Anime Awards in Tokyo, Japan on Sunday. They are both very much into anime. And there they are on the red carpet. So you say, all right, well, you've got two celebrities who are taking a photograph together. No big deal, Mojo. That's not why we think that they're a couple. We have talked to people who were there, Mojo, who said that they looked very romantic with one another, like really lovey-dovey, doing cute things. And even look how they look at each other there, Mojo. It seems to me that this is, again, more than just two celebs taking a picture on a red carpet. I think we've got ourselves a new couple here, Mojo, and I think they just hard launched the thing.
I think you're right, Babcock. I think this was a statement by doing it at the Crunchyroll Anime Awards because, I mean, this is the Super Bowl of that world. I was actually there last year in Tokyo for those awards out there with Mercedes Moné and Meg Thee Stallion, and they also big anime fans, and they just fangirl out when they're there. It's like the coolest thing in the world. Anime fans are super fans, so I'm sure being there meant a lot to them, and they thought that would maybe be a really cool opportunity to announce themselves in a special kind of a way. So you love to see it. Really cool stuff. I'm sure they all had a great time, and hopefully they went out and enjoyed Tokyo afterwards because I got to say it right now, Babcock. I would rather spend time in Tokyo than Cleveland any day of the week.
Oh, wow.
He's got to impress her somehow. I don't know what they got to do in Cleveland, but no offense to people that live there, but that's a hard pass for me.
Yeah, absolutely, Mojo. I think you might not be alone in saying that. In fantastic couple, too, as far as them both being at the very top of their respective fields. He may be the best defensive player in the NFL, and obviously she's got two Olympic gold medals. So enough said as far as her skill on the slopes. Mojo, moving on to a couple that maybe a little bit closer than Myles and Chloe are. Bill Belichick, right, maybe not. Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson, Mojo. A lot of people have obviously we've talked about whether or not they are engaged. She has been seen wearing a ring on that finger that would seemingly indicate that they are engaged, Mojo. And what do you know it over the weekend as Jordan touched down at Raleigh-Durham Airport on Saturday to be exact. It's a bit hard to see, Mojo, but there we go. She is wearing a ring once again on that finger. I don't know what to believe, Mojo. I go back and forth. I think they're engaged. I think they're not engaged. It depends what day you catch me on. But she wants people to think they're engaged. I think that's fair to say.
That is definitely fair to say. And hey, that's what it's all about right now, right, Babcock? I mean, they're obviously loving the media attention, right? I mean, if not, they would have handled this entire thing so much differently. I mean, they're just yearning for this coverage at this point. So you got to think everything's happening for a reason. They know they're under the microscope. So you're going to put something on a finger like that. I don't care if it's yarn. Just a little bit of yarn, we're going to read into that, and they know what they're doing. So I don't know. They need to just come out and say something already because it's almost football season, and their window for having these kind of shenanigans is closing by the day.
Coming up on TMZ Sports, Joey Chestnut at it again. Wait until you hear how many popcorn servings the world's best competitive eater was able to down in just 8 minutes. Stay with us.
On the TMZ Celebrity Tour, we've seen huge stars like Kevin Hart, Ben Affleck, The Rock, and Jamie Foxx. Buses depart daily from the Hard Rock Cafe in Hollywood, so head to TMZTour.com and book your tickets for the TMZ Celebrity Tour.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, Joey Chestnut's the greatest of all time, period. There is no superior to him in competitive eating, and he once again proved why he was the GOAT over the weekend. Mojo, Memorial Day weekend, there was a big-time popcorn eating competition that went down in Indiana, Mojo, okay? Now, Joey Chestnut already holds the record for eating popcorn, 24-ounce containers or servings of popcorn, Mojo. He had originally set the record at 28 and a half servings. He then toppled that record by putting down 32 servings. Well, now he has blown his record out of the water, Mojo. 42 servings of 24 ounces of popcorn. That's a lot of ounces if you do that math, Mojo. He is the best. No one even close. Joey Chestnut, an absolute machine, and it goes well beyond just hot dogs on July 4th.
I'm still shocked this dude's still among us, Babcock. I mean, that much butter and salt, like, you got to think this dude's absolutely going to have a heart attack after this. I mean, that is unbelievably taxing on the body. And now, maybe if he's throwing this up within minutes after he's finished, like, it never makes its way all the way through his body. Obviously, we've talked to him before, and he says that a lot of these things don't stay in him too long. It's coming out one way or another. But, dude, this guy just continues to set records. I think we need to get the entire TMZ Sports team on one side in a handicap match to see if we can take him on, because we talk about him enough.
Do you think we could do it?
I think if we get the whole sports team behind us, no, I don't think we can do it.
I don't either, Mojo. That's how good he is. You guys eat like 70 hot dogs. Absolutely crazy. I don't know how he does it. I eat like 10 kernels of popcorn at the movies and my stomach hurts, and this guy just put down 42 24-ounce servings. He is an absolute machine. More impressive than Michael Jordan and LeBron James is Joey Chestnut.
Greatest athlete of our time.
I could not agree more, Mojo. We're out of time. We got a big one tomorrow. We'll have a bunch to talk about, Mojo. It's going to be a great show.
It'll be the best show since today.
I'm a lawyer.